Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Seen Beyond and Through with Monty. Right today, we're going to examine an issue regarding the cap flap. Now, with all that has been going on with the Olympics, Sha'Carri Richards, and weed, we have this right here. Swimming caps designed for natural hair banned from Tokyo Olympic Games. Olympics banned swim caps preferred by black athletes with natural hair. Soul cap, Afro swim cap, Olympic rejection, heartbreaking for black swimmers. Okay, we are going to examine this issue carefully. So it says right here, swimming caps designed for natural hair banned from Tokyo Olympic Games. Olympic banned swim caps preferred by black athletes with natural hair. I wonder which athletes are really complaining, considering the fact that there's not really a whole lot of black swimmers at the moment. Okay, heartbreaking for black swimmers. And who's booing and hooing about this so-called soul cap? We're going to examine this, but before I do, I want to give you a little backdrop. This Soul Cap company apparently is a UK company. And basically, when I looked on their Instagram page, they have 17,000 followers. So apparently, they are an upstart company. They're the ones who's making all the noise. And it seems like to me, their tactics are kind of questionable. And the reason why I say that, with the whole Sha'Carri Richards thing, some people accusing them of being very racist and not allowing her to run, which I have covered that, and I've said that that scenario is just ridiculous. It seems to me that Soul Cap is basically trying to manipulate this situation and is playing it for what it's worth, trying to spin this thing, racial thing, into their favor. But I'm going to explain why. So this athlete right here is a UK athlete, goes by the name, her name is Alice Dearing. She's the first black swimmer to make, I guess, the UK team. And Alice Dearing made a strange statement, I found. She stated that people used to tell me my hair was too big for the cap. Never that the cap was too big, too small for my hair, Alice Dearing wrote. And I'm reading this from online. The International Swimming Federation, FINA, is considering revising their decision to deny certification for swimming caps designed for natural black hair following backlash. Okay, that's kind of questionable, natural black hair, because technically I'm going to show you that these caps are made for anyone with big or long hair. But this is Alice Dearing, and she has on a ill-fitting soul cap. As you can clearly see, it's not snug, it's not tight, it has indents in it, which can be very cumbersome. But before I go on any farther, I want to lend you my qualifications. I'm a distance swimmer. I have been in the ocean for 2 hours swimming nonstop. And these are board shorts. And I would never wear board shorts to swim in. The reason why I would never wear them is because they would weigh me down. The more fabric that you have, and loose fabric at that, it would take away energy. I do not need to be weighed down by something that's very heavy. Same thing with swimmers. They're not going to swim with an afro, particularly if they are a sprint swimmer or swimming for speed, because the hair would act as a breaker. It would slow you down. The more fabric, the more hair that you have on your body will act as a deterrent. It will deter speed. You need to glide through the water efficiently as possible without any type of lag whatsoever to slow you down. Or if you're distance swimming, to take away your energy. That's what anything big will do. Anything with extra material, extra cloth, extra hair, extra anything, even extra layers on a cap would not be a benefit. This is the way that caps should fit. Very snug, very tight. See right there, they're very small, snug and tight. So what they're going to do is that they're not going to impede any type of speed. And if it's a longer race, they're not going to interfere with your energy level because you will glide through the water more efficiently. As you can clearly see, nothing's big and bulky or any type of extra fabric or material. Unlike this here. See a problem with that right there? It's ill-fitting, number one, and there's too much fabric and material. If you can look at the top of it, right there, there's an indent. That indent right there would act as a breaker. It will act as a hindrance. So these caps right here are not a good idea for an Olympic caliber athlete, for any type of elite swimmers. Look at this right there. Anyone who knows anything about swimming would know that this would be a hindrance. It will affect your speed. On a longer swim, you would not be able to conserve as much energy with this right here. So I'm thinking, whoever designed these caps right here must not know anything about swimming. And the young lady, Alice Dearing, I don't know her connection to the designers of these caps to make her want to speak out in favor of them. So FINA did a very good job in rejecting these. And I'm going to predict that they're probably going to reverse their decision. The reason being, they don't want to be seen as racist. They do not want this type of news coverage that will descend upon them, like that you've seen in the beginning. They don't need that type of controversy. So they're going to reverse the decision and allow the athletes who want to wear these hindrance interfering things to go ahead and wear them. But guess what? Very few elite black athletes are going to choose these. Alice Dearing may be the only one. So large size and dimensions. So let me just tell you this right there. The reason why it was rejected, once again, people need to be very careful in using the race card every time. I have a pro-black channel. I know that racism is there. I know that we live in a racist society and that racism has permeated every segment of our society. But right here, we have a company. What they're doing is that they are manipulating people and a sensitive topic to their advantage. They're trying to pressure FINA by using racial guilt. Oh, black hair is favored by black athletes, natural hair. Black athletes are heartbroken. When across the board, that's definitely not true. But they're using those tactics right there to get in. And I just think that you got to be very careful about how you open up doors. Because it could be your downfall too. because you're coming in through a negative slant. You're lying, you're using manipulation, you're using coercion, you're trying to use guilt, and you're trying to use racism. Okay, for all of you who do not know, for a cap to be sanctioned or any type of swimwear, it has to go under a careful review. These caps right here have not gone under careful review. So the Olympics are just like 2 weeks away, very short time period. So anything from now until then is going to be rejected because, plain and simply, it has not gone under the proper review. Proper review simply means that these caps right here or anything new can provide an unfair advantage, or in this case right here, a disadvantage. Clearly. So that's the reason why it was rejected. It has nothing to do with black people, black hair, being racist, and so forth. So I'm looking at this right here, and I'm wondering, is this really necessary? Okay, so here is an example of someone with long hair, and obviously she's wrapping her hair up or pinning the hair up to get it ready to go under the cap. And here's one of these designs right there that she's going to put over her head. Make sure her hair's in it. And as you can clearly see, what you see at the very top of the cap is blockage. See the dents there? That's blockage. That's a breaker, water breaker. It's a hindrance. It's a very bad idea for an Olympic athlete or an elite swimmer to use. Not helpful at all. Too much fabric and material. So in that video, you can clearly see that Olympic swimmer Simone Manuel has long hair or an extension that she puts into her head, and she has no problem at all putting it into a cap. So this so-called problem has already been solved. This so-called problem with black people and natural hair is not really a problem. You can clearly see under the cap right there that Simone is sporting some type of long piece. And this particular cap that she's wearing is the right type because it's a snug fit. It's going to break through the water. It's not going to be a hindrance. There's no dents in it. It's going to allow her to, or whoever wears it, to swim efficiently or glide through the water. See there? I mean, I can clearly see that there's a braid or something under that. But this cap, unlike the poorly constructed one here, is more efficient for Olympic caliber or elite athletes to wear. So there is no problem. I just feel like whoever made this cap right here had more of the hair, the locks in mind, as opposed to the aerodynamics of the swimmer and their relation to the water. They were not really thinking about this, how snug the cap should be and how taut it needs to be over the head. So what they've done with this right here is extremely unfortunate. I think it's a good idea, but not for Olympic caliber or elite athletes. It's not a good idea to compete in. It's a good idea for the everyday Joe to wear who want to put their beautiful locks or long hair or weave or wig under this. It's a great idea. Very poor idea if you're trying to win an Olympic race. And it's very disingenuous to get up there and pretend like you are solving a problem where there is no problem. So I just think that, for the most part, elite black athletes are going to stay away from this. And they're going to be wearing what they have already worn. That's tried and true. She made it to the Olympics with this cap on. This cap right here, I do not believe that people who are spending thousands of hours in training and thousands upon thousands of dollars are going to risk it by wearing something like this. That's so big, bulky, and cumbersome, that's going to weigh you down. So I just think that this company and their tactics, I give the side eye to. I think that considering these times, what happened with Sha'Carri Richards and how some people are trying to play the race card there, I just think it was a bad idea to go there and to use that manipulation tactic to try to get in. Maybe you're trying to be a sponsor of the Olympics. It seems like you're trying to sway FINA, as I mentioned before, by trying to use racial guilt. So I really believe that, as I stated before, they will reverse their decision. But guess what? Very few Olympic caliber athletes, very few, are even going to wear that. They are going to continue to wear what is tried and true. Now, there may come a point where they will improve the design with this here. And hopefully they will. They can have one for, I guess, everyday recreational swimming. And they may have one for Olympic caliber swimming. But until then, I can assure you that this design right here is a no-go for elite athletes. They just will not tune in to this. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty, and I will see you beyond and through.